I will buy it for 1,000 rupees. Now then it is complete, right? Here the communication is given and you have received the communication, right? And you have communicated. Say for example, you are keeping silent. We have seen it in the offer itself and we saw some of the cases, right? Now you are silent, right? I'm giving it to you, but you are silent. Now I can't assume saying that you have accepted it, right? Now you're texting someone saying that, like, please take my mobile. I'm selling it to you. Take it. Now your friend is silent, but please pay me 1,000 rupees. Your friend is silent, and then tomorrow you can't claim that saying that give me 1,000 rupees. No, he might even take your mobile, but then he has not communicated back to you saying that yes, I will accept it. Yes, I will pay 1,000 rupees back to you. Right? If he has accepted, yes, I will pay 1,000 rupees for it, yes, you can have a claim. And still, if he does not pay, you can claim. But otherwise, you can't claim because he has not given his acceptance. Right? And say, for example, now I'm offering the mobile to the entire class. Right? Now, who will accept it? Who has to accept it? Now, I have not mentioned a person's name, right? Now, it is not clear who will accept it, right? Now, I have to mention a person and then say, please take it. So-and-so, please take my mobile. Are you willing to buy my mobile? Now, I have to mention the name, right? Which means a definite person, like I have to tell it to a definite person. And of course, there are general offer and all that it is there, right? But still, when you say, who can accept, I have to offer it to someone very specific, right? So in the last class, we have seen advertisement, it's a general one, a declaration, general one, an information announcement is a general one, right? But when you say acceptance, right, it is very specific. Either a person or a group of people where, I mentioned very clearly, only they can accept it, not the entire public, right? So offer can be made. It can be a general offer, specific offer. But when it comes to acceptance, a specific person accepts it. That you call it as acceptance. Say, for example, I'm offering a mobile to you, and then tomorrow your friend comes along and say, give it to me. Now that is not because I have made it only to you, not to your friend. Not to your friend. That's why in our, common practice and all that, and say, for example, suddenly someone comes and offer you a ride saying that come. And then they say, what, your dad sent me. But your dad has promised you that he will come and pick you up. But here someone else is coming. Right? No. Now here you have to question. Because one person has offered already very specifically to you. Right? Now, the same thing, another person cannot come and say please, take me for, and drop me at this place because you have offered it. No, he has offered it to you. Your dad has offered to you, to take you, not your friend. Right? Now, when it comes to acceptance, there is a very specific person. The offer is made to a specific person or a group of people or a party or a company, but only that person can accept, only that party can accept. Somebody else cannot come and accept it for your sake or for that person's sake. If it is there, then they have to give it in writing, right? Or it has to be agreed. For example, that is the reason, say, for example, you have got a parcel from your friend from abroad, right? And you were not there at home to receive it. Then you go to the post office, you are sending your dad to the post office saying that please collect it. You think the post office will give it to you? Will give the parcel to you? No. It is addressed to you. Somebody else cannot go unless it is you give an authorization letter saying that please, offer it to my dad. He will accept it, right? So when an offer is made, right, when you say an acceptance is given not by a public, right, not by everyone in the world, but then the acceptance is given only by a person, specific person, or a party to who the offer is made, right? So everything goes in. This is the reason, you have number of cases, right? You go to the court and all that, you have number of cases, right? And very interesting cases also will be there, but very difficult to judge, right? But here, if you see, like, there are specific, conditions, terms and conditions. There are specific rules for offer and acceptance. Is it clear? So generally, how acceptance is given. Take for example the seller and the buyer. You're buying, certain things from the shop. You just go to the shop. Yes, the offer is made. It is there on the shelf, and then finally you take it to you buy it. When you say, you're really buying it or accepting it, you're taking the product. Now you're accepting that you're, buying it. Then you go to the shopkeeper, you pay the money, right? And seeing the bill, you accept the bill, and then you make the payment. The same way with with the exporter and the importer, right? Now they say sometimes when it comes to, not sometimes, most of the always, right? They say make the purchase order in this format. Say for example, you are giving the purchase order, you are making the purchase order in some other format and sending it to him. Will he accept? No, he will not accept. He will, for example, if you are sending it to me, I'll say what? It is not in the prescribed format. Please change it and send. Right? Please change it and send. Then you have to make the purchase invoice, change it in the prescribed format that I have told you. Right? But if I don't tell you, then you have every right to send in any form. Right? If I say, for example, make the purchase invoice, and then you are making the purchase invoice and you are sending it to me. Now I have to accept it because I have not given the prescribed format to you. But if I say give you a format and say it has to be in this format or fill in this all your details in this and then send it to me, you have to send it. Say for example, you are applying for scholarship, right? And their college is giving you a form. Now that is a format prescribed by the institution for scholarship. Now I'm giving it to you, then you have to do it in the prescribed format. You can't write all the details in one paper and then give it to the college. College will not accept. And they say, where's the form that I gave? Right? And they say, they send you back. Because that is a prescribed format that is given to you. When will they accept? Only when you fill in all the details in the form that they have given it. Right? So all these, we need to understand, because tomorrow when there is an issue, you can't go and make a claim saying that I already gave, the college is not accepting. They will say, where is the form? Right? So these are the issues that you will find. These are small things that I have given as an example. These are the things that you see it as cases in different, in different case. For example, taking up a house on a rent, taking up or buying a property from a person, right? Or be it in relationships like within family, anything, you can find such cases, right? So we need to understand what are the basic legal rules for acceptance, right? So having understood this, I think now, if you want, you can join and then see the, but keep it on mute, please, right? So that, what do you mean by acceptance? And sorry, one minute. Yeah, I'll share my screen and you can see it. You can see it and then come out. Please keep it on mute or silence your mobile, right? So yeah. So you can see the meaning of it. A very or implied. I think this one, because of, in offer itself we have learned that, right? Express is what? Either it's spoken or in word. Implied is what? By the conduct itself, you know that it is implied, that the person accepts. Simple example I gave you in the last class. You go and purchase, food, yes, idli, then you get your sambar and chutney, you pay for it. Right? You pay. Now it has implied acceptance. You have accepted it, right? Saying that I will pay the money for this food, right? We don't need to dwell much on that because it's implied. So with the situation itself, you will know whether it is implied, right? So either it can be express or implied. There's an example. Now listen, with regards to the cases, please make note of the cases also as you learn, right? Because in the exam, for example, in section A, they can, they can just give you the case and ask you to give the result, answer, right? So that is the reason I have given the cases also, right? So here is one case: a widow promised to bestow, property, part of her property, to her niece, saying that if you are staying at the end of her days, I mean, towards the end, right, the niece claims the property and she gets back the property. Because of what? The acceptance is given by the niece saying that, yes, I'm staying with you. I will stay with you. And her niece is staying with her. Because she stays with her, she gets the property. Right? If she does not stay, yes, she doesn't get. And you know a lot of cases that are going on, even after person's death, right? So many people are fighting for it, right? Now it all, and of course the law, has to speak for it, but it will all depend on like how they have agreed upon, how the offer is made, how the acceptance is given, If the acceptance is not given, then there's no claim. No one can claim. Just because like you're my, my relative, I can't come and claim your property. No. Whether the offer was made, whether the acceptance is given, it all depends on that. Right? So here is a case where her niece, got back the property, right? So, so that is V Rao versus A Rao, right? So that is the case. Now, acceptance requires more than this. We will see it in as we go ahead with the chapter. You will also understand acceptance requires more than a tacit or implied formation of. Please put your mobile into silent mode, no? Right? Somebody's mobile is on. Now listen, it requires an evidence. I've already explained it. It requires an evidence. Acceptance requires an evidence. The evidence can be in the form of writing, right? It can be in any form. But there has to be an evidence of acting upon it, right? This is where I said like no silence. Supposing I tell you, I text you and say, I'm offering my mobile to you, right? And for this much rupees, 500 rupees, right? If you don't give an answer, if you are silent, I will take it, assume it as if you have accepted my offer. If I have done it, if I've worded it like that, then it is fine. You are silent, then I assume that you have accepted it. But if I have not said like that, saying that please accept, right? And you have not given me any answer, that means there is no evidence of acceptance at all. Where is the evidence? Right? So many times, like, you have asked your friend or you have asked your, the shopkeeper, when did I tell you? Right? You fight with other people saying that, when did I tell you that? Where is it written? Did I write and give you? Did I tell you? Show me. Show me the proof. Show me the evidence, right? Now, evidence is very important for acceptance. So when a person, all these can help you even in your personal life. When you make some offer, right? And you want someone to accept it, don't assume it, look for evidence. That is why in most of the cases, important things, we don't go for verbal evidence, words. I don't accept verbal, or words from people, because orally, if they say something tomorrow, they can even deny it, saying that I didn't tell you at all. People are very clever in telling lies these days, right? They will tell the lies as if it is really true. They can really act like that. When it comes to role play, you can all do this and take it up as a role play, right? They can, but that is not acceptance. That is why when it comes to acceptance, you always look for evidence. Right? It can be in any form, but there has to be an evidence. Very especially if you see in any dealings with selling and buying and all that, the seller is very careful in giving the terms and conditions. Why you go so far? For example, like you are getting your debit card or credit card, right? The agent comes and gives you the forms and all that, you fill up and all that. Finally, they ask you to do what? Sometimes they don't even fill and all that. They look for. Always they'll say, put your signature, put your signature. Sometimes you don't even read what is there. But they explain you something and then they ask you what? Please put your signature. But before you put your signature, because you're accepting all the terms and conditions when you put your signature. Say, for example, you are joining any company for for your career. You are going and joining any organization, right? Now there are terms and conditions which the organization gives you. It runs into pages. In one company, I saw, it was like a book, right? It was more than 100 pages, and this person, like how long you will read, how many pages you will read, and finally he puts the signature. Then when I asked, like, have you read all that? All the pages have you read? No, I didn't. And I just went through one of the pages. One of the pages says, I'm willing to be transferred to any part of the country. Then I mentioned one place. I said, if you are transferred to this place, will you go? But you are accepting it. When you sign it, you are accepting it. Whether you read it or not, you are accepting it. There is an evidence Tomorrow when they transfer you, they say you have already agreed. Where did I agree? You have signed. See, in the contract you have signed. You have accepted it. That is why when you put your signature, you need to be very careful to read. If someone gives you a blank form, paper, and asks you to sign, will you sign? I hope you don't sign. You will not sign. You will not sign because anyone can write any content and claim because you have put your signature. That is an evidence of acceptance, right? It's a document. So you need to be very careful when you give such evidence. Put your signature. Simple example, like sometimes in property, be very careful with someone comes to your parents and if you have any property or land, right? Maybe your own uncle or auntie, right? They will come and sometimes even our grandparents, right? They don't know anything, they are old. And then someone comes and says what so many stories and all that, and they say, you put your signature, otherwise your property will get lost. Something they say. I've seen that with my own eyes. Then in one case, I went and stopped and I asked so many questions like, why you're asking for signature? And the signature is for what? The documents. The people can write anything and get it signed by somebody, and it is like as if the person has accepted, offered and accepted. It's an evidence. So we need to be very careful, right? When someone, if you are giving, your signature as an evidence, be very careful of what you are accepting it, right? What is it? And uh, how you are accepting it, right? So you need to be really careful, right? So we'll go to the next. We'll see this alone and we will stop, right? Who can accept? Who can accept? To the one who is offered, right? When an offer is made to a specific person or a party, only they can accept it, right? Now we'll go to the legal rules of act. We'll see tomorrow. Qualified. We will see that, right? It's according to section 7(1), right? Now, see the example. A made an offer to B. Right, to purchase a house with possession. Considered as an acceptance, right? So